call, but we'll be ready if they do. Okay. You down there. Hi, Dragon's Celt. Give me that. Okay. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you. How can you generate heat when you can't feel your feet and they're turning blue? Posters and screenplays. You raid. Hi, Audie. Last year's rent. Hello, Josiah. Sure it is, Stephen. Yeah. Everything he does is for the United States. Sure. Because we've seen the evidence of that, right? Guys, make sure when we're coming in that we are tapping that screen, getting it started here this morning. The narration crackles and pops with incendiary wit. Tune in as they burn the past to the ground and feel the heat of the future's glow. How do you leave the past behind when it keeps finding ways to get to your heart? Till you're torn apart. Rent. How can you connect in an age where strangers, landlords, lovers, your own blood cells betray? What binds a fabric together when the raging, shifting winds of change keep ripping away? Use your guitar when they act tough, you call their bluff. Last year's rent, this year's rent, next year's rent, 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 rent. We're not gonna pay rent, 'cause everything is Good morning and good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here today. It is Tuesday, so we are back to regularly scheduled programming with an actual outline. I think Mondays, besides covering stuff for midterms as best as I can, I think I am going to find like documentaries and things to watch. Hi, Sparky. I just found one that I kind of want to look at about the history of women's voting in America and women fighting for that. It's another PBS special from their like little subcategory called the American Experience that I just found on YouTube. So I think I might want to do that for the following Monday. So I think that's what we'll do. But on Tuesdays, as we know, we get back to our regularly scheduled outlines of what fuckery this administration has been putting us through today. So we will get to that. But as you guys come in, please make sure you're doing all of the good things. Let's make sure we're tapping that screen, sharing the live out. And by sharing it, you can share it to like your top 5 friends, your top 5 enemies. You can repost it. You can add it to your story. All of these things do help push me out onto that algorithm. I also have the little roses up there that it looks like Ari took care of a majority of. So if we could finish those off, that would be wonderful. And I will set up a new gift for us. I have 100 gold that I have every single day. This is my job, guys. So this is how I pay the bills. This is how I save money to hopefully finally get a fucking car, because I'm so tired of looking at the one that is in my garage that doesn't work over that. So that would be wonderful, so that I don't have to get driven around like Miss Daisy anymore. So if you guys would like to help with my 100 goal, I would appreciate it. You can send it as Antifa dues. You can send it for George Soros so he can keep setting up more protests that the MAGA really, really hate. That is going to be Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. That is in the link tree in my bio if you guys would like to help out with that. I did change the rules. Now, I know we don't get a lot of callers anyway. We don't get a lot of callers. We don't get a lot of people who come up to debate, and that's totally fine. I will continue with what I do. That's what I enjoy. That's fine. But I have changed the rules on if you do wish to kick. I know that it costs you guys more to purchase than I receive, but that's part of the problem. When you guys are spending on a swan as much as you're spending, I get like $2 out of that. So what we are doing is Mia came up with a wonderful idea to support our content creators, and I am increasing the kick to either 1.5 through one of the links in my bio, or you can complete a gift in my gift gallery to kick somebody that you don't want to have on here anymore or listen to anymore. If not, we'll just be here. If you would like to call or you would like to come up and tell me why you are still supporting Trump, I would love to do that. But you are going to do it based off of factually based information and not your feelings. So when I ask you, why are you still supporting Trump, and you say something like immigration, that's fine. But I'm going to ask you if you know the title that our immigration law is under. I still have the sound though. And I'm going to ask you if you know the law, if you know the title, if you know anything about it. You need to know. I don't want to hear it's common sense. I don't want to hear, oh, is it in my gift gallery? W Ari for hitting that gift gallery. This is the point. The reason I ask you is I don't care about your feelings on the subject. I don't care about your gut. I care about what you can prove. I care about you critiquing your position. You believe something so thoroughly, but most of the time you don't have any information on it. And so now I want to make sure that you do. That's the goal. The goal is to critique it. For you to look at me and say, she's absolutely insane, but let me look up my claim so I can argue it better next time. Or to say, I didn't think about it that way, I'll look at it. Because you guys don't look at it. Now you have to send 2. Why? Why do you have to do that? All right. Well, we will get started this morning. Let's see. Where is that? Okay, we're going to get started with some polling. So we get to see, to take over my title gift spot. So we get to see our Red Bull, Good Boy, Golden Retriever, Enton a few times today. So first off, we have polling on Republicans leaving, because this came after a new article that I just read. There's another congressman, I believe, who is retiring. I can't remember if I have his name. Let's see. Where's the most recent one? Graves, I think. Is that who it is? Yeah. So, yep, in Missouri, Sam Graves is going to be retiring. So he was going to run for re-election, and he decided he was going to retire from Congress. Again, another Republican. They have been dropping like flies, and Here, I'll show you. I have it. So this is Sam Graves pulls re-election plans, will retire from Congress. And so you're going to have Enton do some polling on Republicans losing seats. Let me make sure I remembered this time. Unmute. Okay. So that everybody can hear it. Awesome. Welcome in Olive and Egg Raiders. I appreciate you guys. You guys know the drill as you come in, get started, do your daily heart me's, tap that screen up. I do like to get to 50,000 likes before we hit the top of the hour. So if you guys could work on that, I know you guys can do it. I've seen you guys hit 200,000 likes in the span of 2 hours. You're fucking fantastic and amazing. And I appreciate everything and every single one of you. So right here, we're starting the day with Harry Enton talking about Republicans that are leaving Congress at a steady rate that is abnormal.
I would say that House Republicans are running for the exits faster than kids do on the final day of school. I mean, just take a look here. Oh, hello, most House retirements since 1930. So far this cycle, already 36. That is the grand record over the last nearly 100 years. My goodness gracious.
Which is even funnier because, again, most House GOP retirements since 1930. The last time it was that big was 2018 because a lot of Dems left, I guess.
That actually beats the former record in total, which was 34 back in the 2018 cycle. And that wasn't that long ago. And I do recall that was a very, very good year for House Democrats. The bottom line is...
Right. Why is it during Trump's presidencies that Republicans choose to leave? Could there be a reason for that, do you think? Maybe it's his leadership. Maybe it's him. Yeah. Okay.
You don't run for the exits unless you know trouble is brewing, and House Republicans so far believe trouble is absolutely brewing.
Okay, how do you know that? What does history tell us about these types of exits?
Okay, so, I say it's brewing, and sometimes I just like to pontificate, but sometimes I actually have facts behind me. Let's take a look here.
Oh, Enton, sweetheart, MAGA can't spell pontificate.
Okay, party with the fewer House retirements since 1982 in midterms. They went on to win the U.S. House 80% of the time. Far fewer Democrats are retiring this cycle than Republicans. When one side runs for the exits, right? I'm doing my best right here, my best Usain Bolt right here. When one side runs for the exits, they lose the House of Representatives. When one side stays put, it's because they think something good is going to happen. And House Democrats clearly think something is good going to happen, and House Republicans clearly think something very bad is going to happen.
Again, we said this is basically a record since 1930, more than we've seen in 100 years, and that's just so far. I mean,
that's just so far. This is, I think, what's so clear is this number is likely to climb ever higher.
Okay, so what are they looking at? Sam Graves last Thursday, and it was a surprise. It was a bit of a reversal. What might he have been looking at that caused him to retire?
Some elected officials aren't so smart, but many of them are. And they're looking at the same numbers we're looking at. And what they're looking at is the President of the United States and his approval rating. So why don't we just take a look here? Why are GOP retiring? Okay, when the president's approval is less than 50%. I went back all the way through the record books, all the way back since 1938 in midterm elections. When the Press Party in the House, on average, loses 34 seats when the president's approval rating is less than 50%. Donald Trump isn't anywhere close to 50%. He's at 40%. The average, the House for the president's party, they lose 34 seats. The least was just 9. That was actually Joe Biden back in 2022. But guess what? House Democrats only need to pick up of 1, 2, 3 in order to gain a majority. So the least, even the worst case scenario for Democrats is not anywhere close to what Republicans need to hold on to the House of Representatives.
3 seats is all that the Democrats would need to pick up this midterm season to be able to now have the majority in the House of Representatives. And from the information that we're getting, the betting markets, the polling that we're getting, the least amount they'll pick up is 9. All they need is 3. That's bad for the Republicans. It's really, really bad. And they know it. The writing's on the wall. Now, again, I will always say that does not mean you rest on your laurels. It does not mean you do not go out and do your due diligence and vote. It does not mean you do not advocate, canvass, phone bank, donate to the people who are campaigning in your state and local level. It doesn't mean you don't do the work. but you need to do the work. Purple mustaches, mustaches, excuse me, I can hear myself again, so I'm going to be saying words funny again. The problem, I don't even look at that, because even if you get enough numbers for impeachment, the Senate, unless they win the Senate, which although the betting markets are showing that a lot better, I still don't see it. I don't see Democrats winning. See, I hate when I hear myself winning a majority in the Senate. It's just going to be acquitted. So he'll be impeached like he was last time 2 times, but he won't be removed.
And one little last historical anecdote as I go over to the blackboard over here. The only 2 times that the president's party did not lose at least 3 seats was 1998 and 2002. You know what the president's approval rating was in those years? It was 60% plus. And Donald Trump at this point is just at a 40% approval rating, nowhere near what House Republicans need. And that is why I said they're running to the exit. John laughing over there.
No, I mean, you have great form. Harry, thank you very much. This number very different than the president's current approval rating.
60 is very different from 40.
Thank you very much, sir.
Was that good form? Because I'm thinking of running a long race.
Sarah, we're going to run that marathon very much.
Are we? Okay, got it. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, I'm taking tips. Thank you, guys. Coming.
You know,
I love him so much, though. He makes me happy. In a suit. In a suit, he is doing that. That's why we love Harry Enton with his, he drinks a lot of espresso or Red Bulls or something. But now we're going to get to Harry Enton. Harry Enton on Trump's net approval. So his overall net approval ratings and how that's going, which he has a couple. I have this one, and then it's like, it looks like he did another one inside the newsroom as well, which we will play. Too big for you, Maureen. It's not good. I know CNN stole him. I'm sorry, Lynatti, but at least I show him, so you get to visit him a lot. Guys, we have 81 people in here. I know it's kind of low. Let's make sure we're pushing that out. Let's get the shares up. I only see 8 shares. Let's make sure we boost that up. Get the shares out there. And let's get those likes up, because those likes are not hitting the way that they should. So I know you guys can do better. And I'm very disappointed in you right now. That's not the support that I know that I have from this community. And if you guys need a little bit of some degradation, I can give that to you. That's perfectly fine. Where are the little... Sure, let's do those ones. And then... Oh, I didn't show my shirt. I got a Monchichi shirt.
Aww.
That was my nickname as a baby, because I came out with a head full of hair and I looked like a Monchichi.
I did the green.
I thought it looked pretty. I saw it before I got kicked.
There we go.
I think it looks pretty.
Thanks.
Okay, so Harry Enton.
Guys, tap. I'm taking photos.
Harry Enton overall approval rating.
we are talking as low as Death Valley. And this, I think, is so key here, which is, Johnny B was pointing out, it is sped up now, but this has been a steady fall into the abyss. There is no bottom. Death Valley, Death Sea, that is how low we are going. And look at this. I think this really just kind of shows that it is not one event that is dragging Donald Trump down. It's a slew of events that have come together and have continuously dropped his net approval rating. You go back to last year when he was sworn in for a second term, he was at plus 6 points. Then minus 3 points a year ago, minus 7 points 9 months ago, minus 10 points in October 2025, January 2026, minus 13 points. And now, all the way down to minus 18 points, a term too low. And what is so key to point out here is, let's just say that somehow we got out of the Iran war tomorrow. Yeah, it might climb a little bit, but we have seen this steady and dropping number that just seems no sign of rising.
What's the comparison with his first term in office?
Yeah, I think what's so important to point out here is right now we've seen that steady drop downward. In term one, it was anything but that. Take a look here, the 3-month change in Trump's net approval rating at this point in the term. In term one, he was actually rising at this point. He was actually going up. His 3-month change was up by 5 points. Now we're talking about a 3-month change in which he has fallen to a new term.
Brian, if that's all you have, you don't have much. Brian says, what are the Dems numbers? Shocked face, ha 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 ha. Yeah, the Democrats' approval rating is not good, but Trump is so bad that even though the Democrats' approval rating is not good either, they are winning races all over the place, in places they are not supposed to be winning in places where Trump is winning in double digits. Like, that's not a good comeback, Brian. Trump is doing so bad that the Democrats don't even have to work hard, which sucks. Because I want them to do better. I'm not even a Democrat, but I would like their messaging to be better. I would like their candidates to be better. They don't even have to be, because Trump is so bad. You're not winning shit, Brian. You lost 20% of your seats last year. You have lost races. Donald Trump's own local race where Mar-a-Lago is, that he won by plus 13, went to a Democrat. You're losing all over. That's just cope.
Too low, in which he's at minus 18 points. In term one at this point, he was actually higher. Remember, Trump was breaking all those records during term one, right? But at this point, term one, he was at minus 12 points in his net approval rating. He is now 6 points lower than he was at term two, at where he is right now in term two at this point, and he is just continuously falling, while term one, he managed to turn it around. It was actually rising, and there is no sign of any bottom at this point in term number two.
Yeah, a big difference there in Republicans who are running for office in a few months, watching this with a lot of trepidation. Let's talk about independents, which has been this group which really has just been eye-popping the last few months.
Eye-popping indeed. This number, if there's one big number from this, is that Donald Trump now has the worst net approval rating among independents of any president ever at this point in term two. He is worse than Richard Nixon, who would be going adios amigos in a few months back in 1974 in term two. Look at this.
Why does he do this?
Points.
Why does he say it like that? He could have just said Nixon in 1974. Why did he just say 1974? That was unnecessary, Harry.
Worse than George W. Bush at this point in term two. The Iraq War was weighing him down at minus 37. And worse than Richard Nixon, when, of course, there were all those impeachment hearings back in 1974 at minus 36 points. He's nearly 10 points worse among independents on his net approval rating at this point in term two, Donald Trump is, than Richard Nixon. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, height of Watergate we're comparing it to here.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about possible collateral damage. I mean, the president can't run again despite musings there, but what impact might this be having on, say, others close to him?
Others close to him. The Vice President of the United States, chance that J.D. Vance is a 2028 Republican nominee. 6 months ago, he was at a 53% chance. Down he goes. He goes down to 37%.
To be fair, that could be J.D. Vance's own words. I played that clip where he was on Fox, I believe, and was it Fox? I think it was. And one of the anchors asked him, like, well, aren't you excited you're going to run for president? And he was like, am I? Like, I don't know. Are you? They've set you up as if you're going to be the one to run. We know that Ted Cruz is going to run. He's already announced that. Rubio might. I'm not sure. But yeah, they've set you up as it's the dynasty of you to take over. But Donald Trump has really helped to crush that by saying he doesn't want you to be his successor. And then you come out and say things like, am I? So to be fair, the prediction market on this is probably from his own words, not just what's going on in the elections. Yeah, please run Ted Cruz again. That would be hilarious.
Chance, according to the Kalshi prediction market, this is tied for his all-time low, J.D. Vance. But, you know, you just go back here, a slow or steady drop, my goodness gracious, with no sign of a bottom, Death Valley.
And that's a big number to begin
That
with.
is a big, big number.
Harriet, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you, John.
Whoops, that's not good. So I have another one from him where it looks like he did it inside of, like, in the newsroom. What is this one? This is his popularity, and I'm guessing this is going to tie into the war in Iran. Guys, while we're here, make sure that we are booping that screen. Amber came in appalled, which I love you for that, Amber, is that we have been here for 24 minutes and we're only at 12,000 likes. We need to be way closer to 25,000 by now. I know you guys can do it. I know those fingers work. I've seen them do it. Your partners will thank you, and I appreciate that. Guys, also, I am multi-streaming, so I am on Twitch and YouTube. I see Dragon's Celt, a Wild Yami, and my lovely the Parkers over there, and I appreciate you guys, and over there on YouTube, all the people who are hate watching, but also the wonderful people who stick through it and love to have the blood sport over there. I see you, I see the support, and I appreciate you guys over there. Remember, I do have subscriptions, I have memberships, really, really fun things that you guys can participate in over there. And here we get more Harry Enton.
Because, take a look here. Take a look at Donald Trump's overall net approval rating. This is the lowest of his term, the lowest of his second term. We're talking about minus 17 points, 17 points underwater. And unlike in Donald Trump's first term, in which he was negative basically throughout his entire term, Trump actually started off in positive territory here in his second term. But now he's at the lowest point of his second term. But there's an even bigger comparison to be made, okay? So obviously Trump was elected once back in 2016, then he took a 4-year break, and then, of course, he's serving his second term, and it's his second presidency. So I went back and I looked at all of the presidents at this point in a presidency, all of them at this point in a presidency, and guess what? Donald Trump is the lowest ever at this point in a presidency, lower than Joe Biden, lower than Jimmy Carter, lower than Ronald Reagan. He's lower than all of them at this point in a presidency. You know, you can make any sort of swimming comparison you want. Maybe you want to make a comparison with a diver like Greg Louganis. Maybe you...
Brian, do you think it's possible for you to actually try to defend anything that Donald Trump is doing as beneficial for the American people without bringing up Biden, Kamala, or Walls? Do you think it's possible? Or do you just live in Copeville? Okay, that's what I thought. Also, by the way, let's see, make sure I read it before I do this, because then I don't want to do that. Thank you, Nicholas, for the $1 on the PayPal. All aboard the dollar train. Choo-choo! Thank you so much, Nicholas, for the dollar train. Guys, that is one way. Dollar trains are a way that we can complete this goal out and get it done. I know we can do that today.
You want to make a swimming comparison, Michael Phelps. Maybe if you're me, like an old Jewish soul, you want to make a comparison with Mark Spitz. Either way, he is very much.
I don't know why they cut. I hate when they cut clips off at weird spots. Let's see. We've got, how do I want to, yeah, we'll do it this way. But it's okay, because we're going to go to Fox now. Maybe you guys will feel better if we have some Fox News talk about polling. Maybe. This is Jessica Tarlov, though she is the liberal on the panel. But you do get your guy, don't worry.
36 of them have already announced Trump's approval is about 40% if you want to be super generous. And historically speaking, when it's less, you already told me, you have Rasmussen, who else, or the guy in the bow tie.
So Jesse Waters says that he has Trump's approval at 52. Where? I do this with you guys every single time I bring up polling. I'm going to continue to do so. Where? Because she actually gives him a lifeline and says Rasmussen, except that that's not true. That's not true. Rasmussen doesn't have him there. I think they have him at about 41%. Not 52. There is no poll that shows him at 52% approval. If you have one, I would like to see it. Like, legitimately, again, not being condescending, I would like to see it. Go find me one. I have asked multiple times. You guys have yet to been able to find me one. So, it doesn't exist. If it did, y'all would have found it by now. But then MS Now does some reporting on polling from, there's quite a few. They have YouGov, Ipsos, Reuters, on Donald Trump's mental acuity. Since you guys were so worried about Biden's mental acuity, which is fine, you can be worried about that. He's an old man. Shocker. We have another old man who's now older than the other old man was. Fun. Good job. You guys really, really did great things with that one. We have polling on what people feel about his mental acuity and his erraticness.
Is Donald Trump well? Is his head in the presidency? Does he have the mental acuity to lead this country? More people are starting to doubt that, beyond, of course, Democrats who have always doubted it. This is being borne out in two new polls. The first one from the Washington Post, ABC, and Ipsos, which finds a number of people who think he lacks the mental sharpness to serve effectively, is now climbing 56%. And the second from Reuters and Ipsos, which shows 6 in 10 Americans now say President Trump is becoming more erratic as he ages. That includes a growing number of Democrats, independents, and Republicans. Why is that?
Why is that? Could it be because he's actually fucking insane? Something we all knew for 100. How is he more coherent, Cliff? How? I don't think you guys listen to him speak. I legitimately don't think you listen to him speak. He is not coherent. He went off for about 4 minutes about Sharpies the other day while we were in the middle of war and we have lost 13 people. We are literally at war. We have lost 13 service members and he talked for 4 minutes about Sharpies. 15? I haven't seen 2 more added onto that, Ari. I think at the time it was 13, though, when he talked about the Sharpies. Right. What, Cliff, you don't believe me? You don't believe that he went off? Because I have 2 minutes of the 4 minutes. If you would like to watch it, we can absolutely watch it again, where he went off in a literal cabinet meeting for 2 minutes about Sharpies. Would you like to watch it? Because I've already played it before. Cliff, you don't watch him speak. You just glaze his taint. Why? I don't know. He doesn't give a fuck about you. But, you know, there's that. PC God says, yes, please. Let's see. When did I play that? That wasn't... Is that the 25th or the 26th? Let's see if I can find it. Well, explain it, Cliff. If he's so coherent, why is he going off about Sharpies? If he is so coherent, why is that something he's talking about? I'm waiting. Which outline was it on? I don't remember what show I set it on. Or that I played it on. If not, I can always find it on. Oh, he goes on about a pen. Yep, found it. Just play it for him. Got it. I found it. Here you go. I apologize to my audience who have watched this before. Where's the coherency? Where's the focus on the important things?
It would be better. See this pen right here? This pen is an interesting example. It's the same thing. So this pen is very inexpensive, but it writes well. I like it. But I can't have the pen the way it was. You know what it is. I don't want to give too much publicity, but they do treat me well. Sharpie. So I came here. They have $1,000 pens. And you know, you hand pens out. You're signing and you hand them out. You're handing them to all these people. Sometimes you have 30, 40 people. And they were $1,000 a piece. Beautiful pen, ballpoint. 1,000. It was gold, silver, gorgeous. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what they're. What is this, mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. And I feel guilty because I'm like, you know, I'm by nature, I don't, you know, it's the government. I love the government like I love myself economically. I want to save money. So I'm saying, this is crazy. And it had another problem. They didn't write well. So I take it out. And I saw it, and there's no ink. And I got all you people looking, and you say, there must be something wrong with Trump. And I'm signing, and there's no ink in the pen, and it costs $1,000. This one, I called the guy. I said, I'd like to use your pen, but I can't have a gray thing with a big S on it, saying Sharpie. As I'm signing a $1 trillion airplane contract to buy brand new fighter jets, brand new B-2 bombers, of which we just ordered plenty. I can't do that with the press. Use your pen, but I like the pen the best. But I'll sign it. I could do like Biden did, you know, give it to somebody else to sign, or an auto pen, or maybe sign it separately in another room. But I can't use your pen. He said, well, I can make it nicer. I said, what can you do? He said, I'll paint it black. I said, that's nice. And I can even paint the White House on it, sir, if you like, in gold, almost real gold, not bad. And I can even do your signature, sir. And by the way, this was not staged. I just saw the pen sit there. I thought of this as an example of how $25 million spent by me at the Federal Reserve Building would be a better job than $4 billion that they're spending. And you know, one of the things...
2 minutes and 17 seconds of him rambling on about fucking pens, which he doesn't use pens, he uses Sharpies.
It would be better.
But sure, he's coherent. Sure. Let's get into more Trumpisms, shall we? I like this one.
Undisputed. Just when did this come out?
Anyway. Cha-Cha, what do you mean so? That's the person running our country. So, I care about what the fuck he's talking about. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. He said, I love myself economically. What does that even mean? But, you know, he's going to put the temperature down because that's what he does. He's really good at bringing Americans together.
They should terminate the filibuster and they should vote. That's what I think. Look, I think the Senate is playing it too soft. The Republicans are wonderful people, but we're dealing with very sick individuals. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists, and we have to protect our country. We have to protect our...
He's now calling Democrats terrorists. These are Americans. The American people. What happened to him not being divisive?
Border, we have to protect our
Thank you,
wall.
Peter.
It was up to them.
And
They'd open up the wall.
and
They'd let
Patrick.
millions of people pour into our country again, and we've all been through that. They should...
He just has to give you the greatest hits of fear-mongering so that you guys can go, yeah! We don't actually listen to you talk, but yeah! Sounds good to me. That's all you guys know how to do, is cheerlead. But it's fine, because again, he is focused on the most important things affecting our country, guys. Don't worry. He's got this.
Another one. Excuse me, wait. I thought I'd do this now because it's easier. I'm so busy that I don't have time to do this. But I'm fighting wars and other things. But this is very important because this is going to be with us for a long time, and it's going to be, I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's the highest level. Same height, exact height, if not higher. Same height as the White House, exactly the same height. And if you look, you have the White House over here, and you have this, and that's a duplicate of the wall. So it pays total homage to the White House, which is, I think, very important. There's another one.
He said homage. The important things. You guys can be mad in the chat about TDS. The thing is, like I always say, I think you guys have TDS. All I am doing is critiquing the president. Like I would, no matter who was president. I did this when Biden was president, and I critiqued him too on his actions and the actions or lack of action in Congress. You guys just don't know how to do that. That's why you have TDS. You have TDS because you just like everything Donald Trump does, even though you know nothing about it. You have no clue how to portray that it's beneficial for the American people. I ask you guys to call in with factually based evidence and not your feelings, to defend your support and why you support, and to critique that support. I'm asking you to tell me that you have facts behind the things you believe and the things he says that you believe. You have TDS because you will do everything in your power to defend him when he doesn't give a fuck about you. I don't know why. Oh no, I don't claim to be unbiased. I will absolutely claim to be biased. I don't like the motherfucker. At all. But it stems from a place that his policies are not beneficial to Americans. At all. They're not beneficial to humans. At all. That's where that comes from. And I can prove it with facts because I haven't seen anything beneficial. So, again, when you guys can show me that, sure. Let me update this real quick. And I will always complain about how they have these GIFs set up because I can't organize them from lowest to highest, and it's annoying. And again, whatever the fuck this is. We're at war. 13 service members are dead. I had to mute it because, you know, copyright. You can guess what he's dancing to. Woo! Great things for our country. You elected a fucking clown. Clown. He is. It's like a kid at a birthday party. Why? So you could troll the libs. People can't afford gas. People can't afford food. People can't afford healthcare. And that's about to get a lot worse. And I'm going to talk about it. But, you know. A misportrayal? How is it a misportrayal? Tell me how. All right, so let's get into a little bit of what did I want to do here? Let's go to Iran, I guess. This is, again, what Republicans do when they try to cope. Senator... That's not the right one. Where's the one where he said that? Hold on. That's a different one. Talking about the demands of the Democrats in the Senate for TSA when that was a unanimous vote, so 100-0. So that's interesting way to put it, but you know. Okay, there's the one that I wanted. Let me take that and fix it. On whether this is the cope you guys do, this is the pretzeling that you guys do about whether we have won the war or are winning because Donald Trump can't make up his mind. Did we win the war in Iran? Are we done? Or do we need to stay there and keep winning, whatever the fuck that means? That is a wild thing to say, and it's what you guys love to do. 84 people over here on TikTok. I appreciate getting to 25,000 likes. If we could keep tapping that up and get to 35,000 likes, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate it so much. Try and fill that little purple bar down there. Let's make sure we get that bar pink and we can keep focused on the next goal there. I would appreciate it, guys. I still have 99 left in my goal today. Remember, this is my job. Remember to tip your content creators. The links for that are all in my bio. And over there on YouTube, you have super chats. Yep, this is my grift portion of the show where I have to do the advertisement announcement that I am grifting. Sure, that's what's happening. TikTok is low today. What do you mean, like with numbers or my microphone? Numbers, yeah, it's been a mess. Oh, I gotta put the sound back up. That'd probably be a good idea.
President Trump continues to insist that the United States is winning. Take a listen to a little bit of what he had to say this week.
Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. This war has been won.
Senator Langford, do you agree with President Trump that the United States has, in fact, won the war?
We are won or winning. There is no question about
That's not how that works. You either won the game or you didn't. You either won or you didn't. We are won or are winning. What? This is MAGA TDS. That's MAGA TDS. I can't disagree with the president, but I also can't declare that we've won because obviously, how do I explain to my constituents that we're still there and that we want $200 billion more to stay over there and that we're actually sending troops over there? How do I explain that to my constituents without making Donald Trump mad? Well, I'll just say we won or are winning. That's TDS.
that.
President Trump continues to
wild. Unwell. And then Trump is going to admit that he is violating congressional approval and the Constitution itself, because that's why he's trying very, very hard to change his wording. He has been calling it a war from the beginning, and now he's trying to change it to military operation, because he knows that technically you need congressional approval to declare it war. So he's trying desperately to change that, but here in this clip, he admits that he would need congressional approval to call it that.
As a leader, and we had a deal. I was going there, and I didn't want to go during the war. I said, look, we have a thing called a war, or as they would rather say, a military operation. This is for legal reasons. I say military because
for legal reasons, the legal reasons being the Constitution.
As a military operation, I don't need any approvals. As a war, you're supposed to get approval from Congress, something like that. So I call it a military.
Not something like that, exactly like that. To declare it a war, you would need congressional approval. Now, have we had wars in the past that were not declared war by Congress, but I would call them a war? Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, absolutely. Those were congressionally approved, they just weren't declared war by Congress. So there is the gray area in there of that. It's just the fact that he's admitting it now. Because before he had said, I don't need them at all. But he admits he does. He absolutely would need that approval. However, you can get congressional approval for military action, which he still has not gotten in regards to Iran. We did with Vietnam, we did with Afghanistan, we did with Iraq. We did not here with Iran, and he knows that.
Operation, but we as a leader, and we had a deal. I was going there.
Say it again while I get this.
And I didn't want to go during the war. I said, look, we have a thing called a war, or as they would rather say, a military operation. This is for legal reasons. I say military because as a military operation, I don't need any approvals. As a war, you're supposed to get approval from Congress, something like that. So I call it a military operation.
Poet King, you said that the left keeps losing. You should look at the elections from last year and this year. Maybe you should look at that. I don't know who's losing. It's not the Democrats. But because Iran keeps going on, it's not ending. Here is CNN reporting on the possibility of $200 barrels per oil, which, as we know, I showed you that the leader of the Iran military came out and said that we should prepare. The U.S. and the world, the global market, should prepare for $200 per barrel gas prices. It looks like we're going to be getting close to that. We're getting closer every single day. And so here is some CNN reporting on that.
Also found experts who were concerned.
William, how is this inflation coming from Sleepy Joe? It is 2026. Y'all can't use that old man forever, because guess what? Inflation started coming down after June of 2022. Uh-oh. What was inflation when Joe Biden left office? What was it? Uh-oh.
Concerned about oil hitting $200 a barrel and gas soaring to $7 a gallon. How realistic is that scenario?
Well, it's realistic if this war goes on. I mean, we're at you said 116 earlier this morning, a little bit below that now.
This was probably about a week and a half ago, this video. I will show you current today.
So if this continues, it means that all of the oil that's locked in the Strait of Hormuz, that's about 20% of the world's oil, that's not getting out. The world has plenty of oil. It's just locked up right now.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Okay. You sounded like you were on an airplane.
And so you can imagine, because of supply and demand, if we don't get that supply and we have all of the demand for oil, then prices will continue to rise. If this goes to June, $200 is realistic.
David Goldman, thank you so much for that reporting. Up next, also found.
So, in that same vein, let's go to Fox Business talking about the rise of oil. See, I'm going to give you balanced reporting. Here's Fox Business as well on the effect of this dumb war of choice. We didn't need to do this, guys. Remember that. We did not need to do this.
Now, the oil market pushing the price to $100 a barrel. That is a response to the president's threat to put boots on the ground, to seize Kharg Island, or secure Iran's supply of enriched uranium. It's exactly $100 a barrel as of now. Gas, well, that's moved up to $3.99 a gallon. That's up $1 from just 1 month ago. As for California, they're closing in on $6 a gallon. $5.87 is the latest quote. And look at diesel, $5.41. That's the average for 1 gallon of diesel across the country, and that is up $1.66 from just a month ago. That is inflationary. Now,
Ooh, that is inflationary. Uh-oh, who did that? Couldn't be Biden. How is he controlling diesel prices from out of office? He has so much power. Trump is so weak that Joe Biden can affect the market on oil and inflationary prices in 2026? Almost a year and a half after being out of office? Damn, Trump is weak. But it's fine. We'll look at crude barrel per oil. Let's look at it. It was 104 this morning. It has come down slightly because it's a market, so it, fluctuates constantly. Currently, 101.09 to 101.11. It keeps fluctuating. That's not good. That's not good. And we hit, again, that's where we hit. We were hitting highs early yesterday. Yeah, that's not good for it to be that high, though. But it's okay, because Republicans are going to fix it, and they have a plan. They have a plan to fix it.
Secondly, the cost of diesel is averaging at $5.38 a gallon right now. What's the message from the Trump administration to truck drivers who are dealing with those high fuel costs right now?
Again, we understand, we hear you, we see you. We are fully tracking this short-term fluctuation in oil and in diesel prices. And that's why the president and the administration have continually announced robust actions to provide stability in the global energy market. As you know, political risk insurance, one of those actions, allowing countries to purchase sanctioned oil just to increase the supply. In the meantime, we've worked to release.
So the plan beyond thoughts and prayers, which is what she just said at the beginning, which was, we see you, we understand. Thanks. I'm sure that helps the truckers so much. We're talking about diesel. So we are talking about diesel prices in America. We are talking about American truckers. And her response to that is that we are allowing sanctioned oil to be sold, specifically from Iran themselves, the country we're fighting. The estimate was about $14 billion that they will receive from this sanctioned oil that they release, and also allowing Russia, who has been sanctioned, to now sell oil. That's going to help us? We're not buying it. Or are we? Oh. I didn't know we wanted to simultaneously buy from the country we're bombing. I didn't know we would want to buy from the country that we're trying to keep out of a sovereign nation. Didn't know we would do that. But I guess it'll help the truckers that it's okay because she understands. She understands.
400 billion barrels of oil and refined products as well. We issued the 60-day Jones Act waiver. All of this has, with the goal of increasing supply to create stabilization in the market in the meantime. But the overall message, as we've repeatedly stated, is, again, these are short-term actions and short-term price fluctuations.
Liquor, I thought it said liquor, excuse me. I understand. It's to stop economic collapse. I completely understand that. I understand why they're doing it. The reason it's annoying is because we didn't need to do this in the first place. We would not be in this position where we now have to do these things to avoid economic collapse if Donald Trump had just not bombed Iran. We wouldn't be dealing with this. So now, again, it is what we have always said about Donald Trump, is he creates problems that he then has to fix. But he doesn't fix them very well. But he creates his own problems.
For the long-term benefit of ending the threat that Iran poses to the United States of America, our troops and our allies in the region, and ensuring that this regime can no longer control the world's free flow of energy through the Strait of Hormuz, which is something the administration continues to tackle day by day as well.
Well, he just manipulated the markets on that by saying it's not the objective goal to take it or to open it. So there's that. But it's okay. Caroline Leavitt didn't give us that much of a plan. Maybe Rick Scott will have a plan for the American people in regards to their prices going up because of this war.
Senator, what are you going to do about this? I mean, do you expect this is going to be over in the next couple of weeks and enough time so that people are not feeling this pain of higher prices going into the midterms?
Well, number one, I grew up in a poor family, so I know this impact on gas and food prices, all that is really impacting people, and my heart goes out to them. But the president is doing the right thing. It's better.
Oh, okay. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Rick Scott's heart goes out to all the people, specifically his constituents in Florida. His heart goes out to you for the fact that you're having trouble making ends meet, for the fact that you are having to decide how much to fill in your gas tank to get to work while also being able to afford groceries for your family. His heart goes out to you. So guys, feel it's okay, because also, by the way, the president's doing the right thing, because that's his sole job. We fuck the Congress and what their original purpose was, which to be representatives of the people from whence the state they came. No, fuck that. We don't care about that. The Constitution? Ew. No, my job is to come up here and to glaze Donald Trump's taint, according to Rick Scott. That's his job now. The president's doing the right thing. Don't get mad at me.
To make sure we are not going to be destroyed by a nuclear weapon or ballistic missiles. This is he made a tough decision, which was the right decision, and he will do everything he can to make sure this ends quickly.
Not them playing him off.
I'm appreciative what the president's done, and I'd like gold prices to come down, but I want to be safe first.
Absolutely. He's eliminating a would-be nuclear terror.
That's dumb. Would be based off of what intel? None of our intel said that. They were years and years and years away from nuclear weaponry. And even if they were, that's not our business. You just gonna start punching, like, that would be like walking down the street and being like, you look like you're gonna punch me in the face in 10 years, so I'm gonna punch you in the face now. That's dumb. That's really fucking dumb. But it's gonna get better. Don't worry. Oh, that's what I did. Let's see. How did that get all around here? Well, okay. I'll fix it later. The Republicans have a plan to keep paying for this war. They want $200 billion. Congress isn't going to give them that. So what they're going to do is the GOP is weighing healthcare cuts. Healthcare cuts. That's your healthcare, MAGA. That's you, because I know you don't make enough where you're not getting benefits to pay for Iran war. And I'm going to have to paywall this. Hold on. Guys, while we are sitting here, while I get this done, yes, I'm going to do the graft. We are at 99 left on my goal. Come on, guys. I've been on for an hour. We can't get a dollar train going to get that down. Pay your Antifa dues. Do all the things you need to do. And get those taps up as well. We are almost hitting 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we are only at 35,000 likes. I know there's not as many of you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys have somebody more in your fancy that's on right now. I don't know. But it's exhausting to put this stuff together, to get this information for you guys and not get the support back. Like, it just is. I'm sorry. Like, it is. There's the misogyny on this app because I'm around. I love y'all, but I'm around. I don't fault you for supporting other creators that you might like more than me. That's fine. However, I see you in those spaces. These people who get 1,000 people every time they go live. These people who get 500, 600 people every time they go live. Pour that same energy into me. I'm not just a place filler. If I'm just a place filler so that you don't have to listen to the thoughts inside your head, then don't watch me. I need the support. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. I need you guys to help out with that. Okay, found the non-paywalled version. GOP weighs healthcare cuts to pay for Iran war. Republicans are considering reductions in federal health spending to help pay for a budget bill containing as much as $200 billion to fund the Iran war and immigrant enforcement. The problem with this is if they do this as a budget reconciliation, they can pass it with a simple majority. Now, I don't know that they'll get the votes still in the Senate for that. You would have, I don't think Collins would vote for it. I think she'd be a no. What, you can only lose 3? She'd be a no. Rand Paul likes cuts, but also you're only cutting so that you can spend it somewhere else. So I don't know that he would vote for it. And I don't know that Murkowski would vote for it either. So that's something to think about. Why it matters. New efforts to rein in health programs are sure to be controversial and open the GOP up to election year attacks. This is a bad year to choose to do this. That they're cutting healthcare to pay for an unpopular war. Driving the news. Top House Republicans are looking at healthcare offsets, addressing fraud in federal programs as they did during last year's debate over the budget law that made deep cuts to federal Medicaid spending and imposed first-time work requirements. Quote, there's other items we're looking at right now, especially in the areas of fraud and waste and abuse that we're working through with our members, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise told Axios. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington is reviving an idea that was considered last year to fund affordable care payments, known as cost-sharing reductions. The Congressional Budget Office previously found the move would lower overall benchmark ACA premiums by 11%, but result in 300,000 more uninsured people. It would cut the subsidy amount that some enrollees receive, thereby increasing out-of-pocket premium costs while saving the government over $30 billion. Between the lines, discussions still are in the early stages, and it's not clear exactly how the goal of fighting fraud would translate into legislative language. The driving force is the need to pay for the war in Iran and fund ICE, the latter of which triggered the partial government shutdown. I have stuff on that if we can get to it later. Democrats oppose both, leaving Republicans ready to use the party line process known as reconciliation to get around a Senate filibuster. That's what I'm talking about. If they do it as a budget reconciliation, they only need a simple majority, which is 51. They would have to lose 4-3, means Vance is a tiebreaker. You have joy. Many Republicans want any bill to be fully paid for, which is where potential healthcare changes come in. Moderate Republicans are sure to push back against any policies. Scalise noted the need to be able to find the votes, saying, obviously, we need to put the vote coalition together. Asked if he was concerned about the potential offsets. Moderate Don Bacon said, I'll see. I mean, I really don't know what they're going to do, he added. I think Speaker Mike Johnson will be smart. I would love to see them do this. Or try. It'd be great advertisements for the Democratic Party in an election year. Really, really, really smart decisions that they're making in the GOP. Which then did I have? Now, how did that end up down there? No clue. Okay. And so they asked Caroline Leavitt at the presser, like, hey, we're getting this reporting on this, and she's going to completely deny that the talks are happening at all. Thank you for calling the stream. What country are you calling from?
I'm calling from Australia.
Oh, well, I do appreciate you. Do you support Trump?
I think Trump's amazing.
Cool, come get him. You can come take him. Come Maduro him. We set up a precedent that now we can just apparently take whatever leaders we want. Come get them. Get the kangaroos involved, all of your spiders. Come get him. I already told you, come get him. Come get him. Australia. Okay, let me see this. Thank you, Casey, for the dollar train. Choo-choo. I appreciate you. Get to supporting everyone, Casey says. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Mia. Thank you, Mia, for the $8 on the Blue app for Titties In Tuesday. I know, it was supposed to be Titties Out. I'm sorry. I just wanted to wear my Mon Chi-Chi shirt. Look. Thank you.
We gotta add that to a calendar or something.
I love it so much. I'm just glad it's coming. Stuff like that's coming back. Again, that was my nickname as a baby. So yeah, they're going to ask, so W's to Casey and W's to Mia, please, in the chat. I want to see them. Yes, I got my Antifa hair dye. I appreciate that as well. If you guys would like to contribute to the Antifa hair dye fund, you can do so with the links in the bio. So they're going to ask Caroline Leavitt about this reporting on cutting healthcare. They know it's not popular, so she's going to deny it.
There are reports that Republicans are weighing cuts to health care in order to make way for that $200 billion for the Pentagon and Operation Epic Fury. Is that a trade-off that President Trump supports?
I've seen these reports. I haven't spoken to the president about it, nor have I heard this being discussed in any high-level meetings here at the White House. I don't want to weigh in definitively because I just haven't heard that being discussed here in the West Wing.
There are reports that Republicans are.
Also, thank you for becoming a member, Lee. I appreciate that over here on YouTube. I do appreciate that.
Hey guys, over here on the TikTok streets, you guys got to keep booping. You guys got to keep booping, do all the good things.
Let's see. What else I got? All right. So they're going to ask Caroline Leavitt again about the oil. So this is in regards to Cuba specifically. As we know, we're having issues with the fact that we are just starving Cuba and we are blocking any energy for them to be able to get. It's a problem. So the thing is that they've now making a decision that Russia can send Cuba oil, but they're going to ask her. She's like, yeah, humanitarian. We care about the people. Again, like I'll say, and I keep saying, y'all don't give a fuck about the people in Cuba. But they're going to ask her like, okay, well, Mexico has wanted to reach out too. So what about Mexico? And she just doesn't really have an answer for that. Why would we let an enemy send oil there, but we won't send an ally? Thank you, Phantom. Hi, Phantom. Thank you over there on Twitch for the gifted subs. Thank you so much. It's good to see you over here, Phantom.
Right now. I'll take a few more. Solon.
Thank you. You listed the described humanitarian reasons for allowing that oil tanker to reach Cuba. Just to clarify, why was the administration okay with Russia sending that oil to Cuba and not other nations?
Look, this was a decision. It'll continue to be made on a case-by-case basis for humanitarian reasons or otherwise, but there's been no firm change in our sanctions policy.
But then why are you letting an enemy send oil and not an ally? Wouldn't you rather that money or that be in Mexico's pocket and not Russia's?
Sheinbaum of Mexico also said that Mexico is exploring different ways to restart some of those shipments to Cuba. Is the administration okay with that at this time?
Again, no change in our sanction policy. We still reserve the right to seize vessels if it's legally applicable that are headed towards Cuba and that violate the United States sanction policy. But of course, the president and the administration also reserve the right to waive those seizures on a case-by-case basis.
And to clarify, just any more Russian oil tankers going to be allowed to reach Cuba at this time? I know you say case-by-case, but for the case of Russia, is it pretty much green light right now?
No, that's not what I said. It's a case-by-case basis.
He's asking you, in this specific case, you keep saying case by case. He's like, yeah, this case of this Russian oil tanker, are you going to let them go through? We're going to take it case by case. I know, I'm asking you about this case specifically. It's going to be case by case. They don't answer questions. Most transparent presidency in history. They don't answer shit. But of course they don't, because when they do answer stuff, they make faux pas and say really bad things, like Leavitt did here, which is the conversation about if you are negotiating. This is why I said, I don't understand where you guys don't get this. We were in negotiations with Iran. We have that. We know it from British intel. We have it from the foreign prime minister of Oman, that they were in talks in Geneva with Iran, trying to come together to get a deal. Because why? Donald Trump left the JCPOA. Why? Probably because Obama's name was on it and he's got a royal fetish about Obama. So he wanted to create something similar and trying to get them to the table on that. They were coming to the table. And then we bombed them. So Caroline Leavitt here is going to talk about the fact that we didn't like how the negotiations were going, which guess what? That's how negotiations work. You have to go back and forth. You're not going to get everything you want. You kind of have to compromise. You have to sit things on the table. It takes time. But we didn't like how the negotiations were going, and so we killed them. That's what she said.
When the president says more reasonable, again, these folks are appearing more reasonable behind the scenes privately in these conversations than perhaps some of the previous leaders who are now no longer on planet Earth because they lied to the United States and they strung us along in negotiations, and that was unacceptable to the president.
Oh, okay. So if people we are negotiating with lie and string you along, that gives you carte blanche to murder them. I didn't know that. So other countries, if you're listening, take note that I guess if Donald Trump lies to you about negotiations, you can just do the thing. I guess them's the rules. If we don't like how you're negotiating, we can just kill you. Yeah, exactly. X, it just guarantees to make lifelong enemies. Nobody's going to trust us. Nobody's going to do business with us. Nobody's going to want to negotiate with us. And you have now just radicalized an entire new group of people. Congratulations.
Which is why many of the previous leaders were killed. So again, this is another...
See? She admits it. That's why. They lied to us, they strung us along, and that's why they're not here anymore. Because we don't know how to negotiate, so we just get mad and punch you in the fucking face.
Historic opportunity for Iran to do the right thing. When the president says more reasonable, again, these folks are...
Yeah, gas is up, too. It's just a mess. But even Fox News' Laura Ingraham is kind of questioning what did the president know, because he keeps talking about how he was surprised that the Gulf country, or that Iran attacked the Gulf countries. He was surprised that Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz. I don't know why, because all of our intel would have told him this is what's going to happen. But since he seems so surprised, Laura Ingraham is like, hey, how much did he know?
So if we cannot come to some type of peace deal with people who can't be trusted, then what? Well, looks like the U.S. is going to escalate. President Trump is already warning of widespread further damage, threatening to hit electric generating plants, oil wells, and Carg Island, as he's reportedly considering sending...
Which, by the way, I don't have a lot on that today, but we could talk about the fact that this threat to hitting energy facilities and this threat to hitting specifically desalination facilities are war crimes. Those are war crimes. Because that will affect the people. I actually do have a video of them asking Hegseth about that, and he doesn't really answer. That's just war crimes. You're not allowed to do that.
Sending ground troops in to secure the uranium. Now, knowing what little time we have and how quickly this can spiral out of control, we still have a lot of questions. For instance, was the president fully briefed about the risks of all of this from the beginning? And was he then able to take it all in and understand the complexity of this, how complex it could actually get, and further possibilities of casualties or other damage, the difficulty of dealing with these people? Or was he told this would be relatively quick in and out?
Now, again, Laura's not really critiquing him. She's critiquing the people around him, which is crazy to me, because if he's the president, he should know this information. It's not on everybody to blame everybody else for what he did and did not know. But she's asking, what was he briefed on? What was he told? Because it doesn't seem like he knows, so I don't know if he was briefed on anything at all. W, Juicy Juice Godfrey for the Dollar Train. Choo-choo! I appreciate you so much for that and your Dollar Train support. You're always reliable for that support, and I always appreciate it. Juicy Juice Godfrey, thank you. So that brings us down to 89. Guys, let's work on that while I am here for about 45-ish more minutes. You guys are working on those taps, and I appreciate it. We are just now hitting 50,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. That bar is going to flip. It'll do a nice little flipperoo on you. And we can work on the next batch for this last hour. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your support. I know it's rough these days. TikTok's been on some shit and it's rough, but we will keep going. Oh my God. Olive. Thank you, Olive. W Olives. I want to see W's. You guys have not been good on those W's for the people who are supporting me. We need to be able to do that to love on the people who can love on me. W Olive for the 5 for I love you on the Blue app. I love you too, work wife.
Sorry, I'm eating.
No, eat. Yay! I did my job, Manny. She's eating. I literally had nothing to do with it.
Yep, I eaten.
She ate on her own. Okay. So then, let's go to Hegseth had a meeting this morning, or presser, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And He's being asked about troops on the ground, and he does what you all do, and he's asking you to do, which is he's going to throw out some bumper sticker headlines to make sure you guys are still brainwashed in case you were coming out of the trance that you were in. He's going to put you back in that trance, so don't worry. He will do that for you at the end. But before that, he's going to say, I don't know why the base would question him at all, because you're not allowed to. How dare you? You can't question dear leader.
As far as President Trump and boots on the ground, I don't understand why the base, which they have already, they understand, wouldn't have faith in his ability to execute on this. Look at his track record of pursuing peace through strength.
His track record of boots on the ground wasn't great. To be fair, he came into an already ongoing war his first term, but his plan to get us out was not good. Didn't work out well. And I'll put blame on Biden for that too. But the date he originally gave us, bad. Shutting out the Afghan government, bad. Negotiating with the Taliban, bad. So yeah, even if you were a part of his base, shouldn't you be allowed to ask questions and critique? That's what I don't understand. Are you guys not allowed to question him at all? You have to love him all the time about everything? Huh.
America first outcomes.
Sounds like a cult.
What he's simply saying, and it's exactly true, and I've said from this podium too, we're not going to foreclose any option. You can't fight and win a war if you tell your adversary what you are willing to do or what you are not willing to do, to include boots on the ground. Our adversary right now thinks there are 15 different ways we could come at them with boots on the ground. And guess what? There are.
So they plan 15 different ways to go after you. Actually, if you don't know, thank you, Peter. The person that they are supposedly talking to, the leader they're negotiating with, has been trolling them on Twitter, and most recently came out and said that if you send troops, like you plan to send troops to Karg Island, we are ready to, quote, set them on fire. That's our people.
We needed to, we could execute those options on behalf of the President of the United States and this department.
You're not. Your peace through strength is using the bodies of our people. So, like I said, the markets have kind of, I wouldn't call it a rally. The word they use in the article that Audrey read, which is the one I read this morning, is surge. They surged. Yeah, I think I did. I saw it. The market surged a little bit because Donald Trump came out and did what he always does, which is push the rumor market of, well, maybe I'm willing to end the war without opening the strait. Maybe the strait will just stay closed and we'll still be done, which is wild because the strait wouldn't need to be closed at all if we just didn't do this. But, you know, whatever, here we are. And so to preempt that idea that maybe we're just going to, you know, concede on the strait without making it look like a loss, Hegseth is going to be asked about the objective and he's going to push away from it because they have to now. CC Knutson, thank you for the $5 super chat over on YouTube. You said Trump is nuts, plain and simple. As they say, you're only as smart as the people you surround yourself with, and IKEA has smarter cabinets. I love that so much. It's true. But he only hires the best people, CC. That's what he said. And yet they all get fired or quit, and then they're not as good anymore. But he always hires the best people.
Just on the Strait of Hormuz, is opening the strait an essential objective to Operation Epic Fury, or is that the job of those other countries? And then secondly, without asking you to comment on things that you can't talk about, what is your message to Americans who love the president and strongly believe in him, but are very worried about this notion of boots on the ground?
Well, first on the Strait of Hormuz, our core objectives from this podium, from day one, from me, from the chairman, from the president, from the vice president, from Secretary Rubio and others have been clear. Defense missile production and missile programs, so their entire missile program, defense industrial base and production ability to build.
To be fair, that's what you're saying now. That's not what Rubio said at the beginning. At the beginning, Rubio said we had to attack because Israel was going to attack, so then we knew Iran would attack us, supposedly. Because we knew Israel was going to do this. They weren't going to listen to us telling them no. They were just going to go no holds bar. We had to then also attack. That's what Rubio said. But now it's about the missiles. Now it's about the Navy. Sure.
And Navy and power projection. So those have, and then of course, wrapping it all is Iran's never going to have a nuclear weapon. So those have been very clear.
Okay.
Defeating the Navy is a core part of ensuring.
They're just going to go underground. We could have had a deal with them, like, oh, there was this one in 2015, the JCPOA. That's the one, the Iran nuclear deal. We had this deal where they would have to be forced, and they agreed to have oversight. So it was above board. We could inspect all their warehouses to see what they were doing, look at the material, check their progress. All you've done is ensure that they go underground now. Congratulations.
They can't project that kind of power. But ultimately, I think the president's truth this morning lays that out very well, that this Strait of Hormuz issue, which we've set the conditions for success, and we will make sure Iran knows that very clearly, is not just a United States of America problem set. We've been willing to lead.
The fact that it's closed is not just a problem for the United States of America. You're right, but who started it? Madness, you make up a great point. That's the thing about war. It's easy to start and very hard to get out of. Yeah, you can choose when to start it. You don't get to choose when to leave. You can try, but you've just created another group of radicalists who hate us for another 25 years. Congratulations. It's not just their problem. But again, this is a problem you are now asking other countries to solve that you didn't consult when you started. You did not consult these countries to say that you were going to do this, but now you want them to come in and clean it up, the mess that you made. The strait was open. There were no problems until you guys started doing this.
President Trump's led the entire time, but it's not just us. So ultimately, I think other countries should pay attention when the president speaks. He's proven that when he speaks, he means something. And he's pointing out, you might want to start learning how to fight for yourself. It's something some of us have been saying for quite some time. You can't.
They didn't ask to be involved. I could understand if they started some bullshit. If the UK, if Spain, if France went into Iran or went into the Strait and started some bullshit and then came out and asked for our help, and we were like, okay, we helped you, we set you up, but you guys need to finish this on your own. I could actually understand that. That's not what happened. They didn't start anything. They didn't start it. The other countries didn't start it. We did, and we didn't even have the courtesy to let them know. They found out the same way we all did, by waking up to find out about it. And now you have the fucking balls to come on and say, hey, fight for yourself. You got to come clean this mess up that we caused. I know I spilled it, but can you come in and clean it up? You fucking kidding me?
Just have flags. You have to have formations. You can't just have a few ships. You have enough to affect change. Those things matter.
Why are we talking about Kamala Harris in the YouTube chat? Are you okay? Are you so broken that you have to whataboutism to Biden and Harris, who are not in power, instead of focusing on what's really happening, which is that Donald Trump made a mess and now he's expecting everybody else to clean it up?
In a dangerous world with ascendant adversaries. That's why the chairman's talking about our industrial base. That's why we're launching the Arsenal of Freedom tour to revive our defense industrial base. President Trump doing it in a way that nobody else has.
Or how about fuck you? That's what the countries are saying, right? You already have Spain. I believe you have the UK and France as well saying, you don't get to use our air bases to shoot shit off. Fuck off. And I don't blame them for that. And he answers again like that, talking about Donald Trump's truth and then taunting the Royal Navy. I know, Chris, it's bad, and I don't have Justin over there today. He is busy. So if I do have mods that are over here who are willing to go over into YouTube for a little bit today, I would appreciate it because Justin is busy.
I think the president was clear this morning in his truth that there are countries around the world who ought to be prepared to step up on this critical waterway as well. It's not just the United States Navy.
Why should they? Why should they step up? They didn't start this.
Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that as well. So he's pointing out this is an international waterway that we use less than most. In fact, dramatically less than most.
Cool. Then we should have left them the fuck alone.
So the world ought to pay attention to be prepared to stand up. President Trump's been willing to do the heavy lifting on behalf of the free world.
They didn't ask you to. Again, that's the problem. You didn't consult them. You didn't ask. You didn't say, hey, we have this plan. You didn't do any of that to our allies, our friends. But now you want them to come in and be like, hey, I punched this guy in the face and he's really fucking mad. And now he's blocking your driveway and threatening you. You should take care of that. Like, I know I punched him, but like, you should go take care of that now. The fuck? Nobody's going to do that.
Address this threat of Iran. It's not just our problem set going forward, even though we have done the lion's share of preparation to ensure that that strait will be open, which is an outcome the president's been very clear on. I think the president.
Except the president is actually backtracking on that now.
Fuck.
Hello.
Oh, the WTF was not you. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry.
I know. I figured you were doing something else.
I'm always like not looking, and then I did a request on purpose, so there was that at least.
Oh.
And then I'm like, oh. You're like, hi. I'm like, ah. No, what I was going to say is, so Spain, Italy, France, and even Iraq have all said you don't get to use our airspace. And even Poland has denied them utilizing some, like moving stuff out of their area. Like, a lot of NATO countries are being like, I'm okay. Like, we don't want you to do this. Like,
yeah, they're like, you made that mess, you clean it up. Yeah.
Why don't you? Okay, sorry. I'm on mute for a second.
We do what we want. America Bay. What does that mean, Cannon? America Bay. Thank you for the Cliff. I know you're an op, but thank you for the mod announcement, I guess. Keep supporting my stream over here, guys. I appreciate it. We have one last video on Hegseth, and it's going to be asking him about the timeline, because they're going to say, Donald Trump said 4 to 6 weeks. Don't know if you guys know, we're in week 5. So he's got one more week. And Hegseth is basically just going to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The timeline is up to Trump, so that timeline could be forever. 2 weeks, right, guys? In 2 weeks?
And guidance and things military objectives that we're moving toward and things that we look at. And as he's articulated, he's said 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, 3 weeks.
There's a guy named Jay U-Boat who said that Spain, Italy, and France are Muslim countries.
What the fuck? They're Catholic.
They're unwell. They are unwell people. The amount of cope, because this is not what y'all voted for, and you know it's not what you voted for.
I find it funny that they left out the one actual Muslim country that I stated.
I know.
Like,
of all the countries.
Is that how far we
I have to prove you wrong? Oh, you said the UK, the UK, France, Spain, Canada, all of them rely on us, so yes, they need to fall in line. No, they don't. They don't actually at all.
What does fall in line mean? I need some further explanation.
Come help clean up the mess that we caused.
No. I just want to know how do I fall in line? Like how do I get there? Can you educate me? How do I just quote fall in line? Is this possible?
The Islamophobia is wild. You guys are unwell with your Christofascism. But anyway, I'll let Pete Hegseth finish.
As he's articulated, he's said 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, 3. It could be any particular number, but we would never reveal precisely what it is, because our goal is to finish those objectives. And we're well on our way, and the chairman and I look at this every single day. It will be the president's determination and the president's determination alone when those objectives are complete and when it serves the interest of the American people to cut that deal, to make sure that Iran doesn't have a nuclear capability and ultimately that our objectives, our interests are advanced. I don't know if you want to add anything. And guidance.
So we'll just keep going. Timelines don't matter because Donald Trump can do whatever he wants. That's what I got out of that. And then this one is just kind of I don't know if you call it funny, but Laura Trump is talking to Laura Ingraham, and apparently there was a retired general who is comparing the U.S. military to Nazi Germany. And in the process of doing that, Laura Trump says that this retired general, yeah, Blue, we won, but we need to stay for as long as we want. Retired general doesn't know what it means to serve in the military. And even Laura Ingraham is like, Laura, no. The Lauras against each other right now. It's great.
You know, these men and women, Laura, have put their lives aside. They've pledged an oath to protect the United States against enemies, both foreign and domestic. They are fighting for freedom. They are fighting against oppression and tyranny. Okay. Of course, this individual has no idea what that means, and he's obviously insulted every
former military
member
officer.
Of our United
Laura,
States
he's a military.
Yeah,
sorry, he's
crazy.
a military officer. He does, presumably, he does know what it means. But he's still called under Pete Hegseth and President Trump.
She's like, oh, yeah,
basically a Gestapo. That's basically what he's saying. That's how far the left has sunk.
Their level of Trump derangement syndrome knows no bounds. They can't help themselves. And
that's
when
what
they can see very clearly that these men and women are doing their duty to our country, and they're serving all of us so well. That's what you get from these people on the left, but probably we should expect nothing less.
You mean like the retired general? The retired general? We don't listen to him, even though he served, just because he's on the left.
What is more tedious? Saying that this administration is Gestapo-esque, or saying that a retired military general doesn't know what it's like to serve in the military that they served in.
They don't know what it's like. They don't know what it's like.
What is more tedious? I'm just saying. What is more deranged?
I keep asking.
Holy moly, mother of all that is. Ugh.
Okay, so also is MAGA. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you guys, MAGA, does the right support law and order? Get my ice cream with TDS sprinkles.
Well, we definitely support some law and order.
I'm asking, MAGA. Do you guys support law and order? Yes.
Yeah, of course we do.
Hi, Ruben. Bye, Ruben.
Oh no, you muted my friend. Where'd my friend
like
go?
borders. Yes, we support law and order. Okay, all right. Next question. Does MAGA or the right, conservatives, do you guys support police?
Of course we do.
Do you guys support the police?
Heck yeah, back the blue.
Let's see. Yes, from Stacy. I'm not very good at asking leading question. Yes, idiot. Yawn. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. Because a bunch of pardoned violent criminals are suing for excessive use of police force. Yay! Jan 6 rioters accuse police of excessive force in a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that indiscriminate use of force by police that day caused physical and emotional injuries to members of the pro-Trump mob.
I agree. I didn't know that they were going to be doing this lawsuit, but I was there that day. And so I want to let y'all know I'm gonna join in. I'm gonna see if I can add my name to that class action lawsuit. Is that how it's said?
It is.
I said it right. Okay.
Said it right.
And I know I got this. I had this tiny little bruise on my pinky finger.
Do you have internal bleeding?
Yeah, I had internal bleeding
Yeah.
on my pinky finger, and it did a lot of psychological damage to me. I think I said that word right.
Several participants in the Jan 6 riot have filed a class action lawsuit against the federal government seeking millions of dollars in damages over their claims that police used excessive force against the pro-Trump mob that attacked the U.S. Capitol in 2021. The lawsuit filed in Florida on Friday alleges that police indiscriminately launched explosive munitions, chemical agents, and impact projectiles into a peaceful crowd and physically assaulted members of the crowd as rioters stormed the Capitol to contest the certification of Joe Biden's 2020 presidential election victory. Alan Fisher, a Florida man who was associated with the Proud Boys, was identified with help from his modeling photos. Is a lead plaintiff in the case alongside two January 6 participants who were never charged, Patrick and Marie Sullivan. Fisher was granted clemency by President Donald Trump, along with roughly 1,500 other Capitol riot defendants when Trump started his second term last year, leading to the dismissal of Fisher's case before it was adjudicated. So, you guys support this? Do you guys support a bunch of criminals suing the police?
No, those were patriots.
Which one is it? Law and Order and Back the Blue or nah?
Not patriotism.
Patriotism.
Yeah, that was some patriotism on all sides. But it wasn't very patriotic of those police when they gave me eternal bleeding.
And then just to show, it will be on my outline because I always do, I have the actual filing of that class action lawsuit. So it'll say this case is about the United States Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police indiscriminately shooting chemical munitions and pepper spray into a crowd of thousands. So you can have the actual 15-page filing as well if you are a part of my Discord. I will have that for you.
I'm gonna drop back down.
Bye, Patriot.
Goodbye, my fellow patriots.
I can't with you. Okay. Well, so did you guys agree with pardoning the Jan 6ers? All of them? Specifically all of them. Did you agree, MAGA? Did you agree with pardoning all of the Jan 6ers? That's the question I want you to answer now. While we wait for that, 115 of you over here on TikTok. If we could get those likes up, we should be well on our way to 75,000 likes, and we're just not hitting it today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys decided you hate me. I guess that's fine. You can get on board with the MAGA. I don't know what's going on, but if you could support me, that would be wonderful. I have 84 left in my goal today. I would appreciate if we could hit that, and I also have these little donuts that I'd like if we could complete as well. Guys, this is my job, so I would appreciate it. Nancy's crew. The 1,500 that Trump pardoned were Nancy's crew? Random's did. So Random was fine with pardoning all 1,500. You supported it. Is that what I'm getting from you, Random? You supported pardoning all 1,500? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Jan 6 rioter pardoned by Trump gets a prison sentence for possessing enormous child pornography collection. Daniel Tochi's attorney had previously argued that the case should be dismissed because all the evidence stemmed from his Capitol siege case. A man pardoned by President Trump for his actions on January 6th has been sentenced for possessing more than 100,000, I'm going to say CSAM images and videos discovered in connection with his Capitol riot case. Daniel Tochi was sentenced to 4 years in prison by U.S. District Judge Mark G. Mastrioni of the District of Massachusetts after he pled guilty to possession of CSAM, according to a Justice Department news release Monday that had no mention of the January 6th link, which you can click It'll bring you right here. They will talk about it, but they didn't give any link to the fact that he was there at Jan 6 and got pardoned for his actions on Jan 6. Random, what do you feel about that? Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Random? Tochi had been set to go to trial in the Jan 6 case early last year, but it was dismissed after Trump granted mass clemency to roughly 1,500 defendants tied to the attack on the Capitol. Federal prosecutors wrote in a sentencing memo in the CSAM case that in addition to the CSAM, Tochi's laptop contained extremely disturbing images of violent acts, such as a cat being unalived and being put in a blender, a male pew-pewing a female in the head, a dog being beaten to unalivement, and severed body parts. Bullshit. I literally, look, this is what good reporting does. The NBC article cites it from the DOJ's website. United States Attorney's Office, District of Massachusetts, Cliff. Amherst man sentenced to 4 years in prison for possessing enormous CSAM collection. It's not bullshit. They give it to you. They give you the information. Dummy, where'd Random go? Did Random run away? You're right here. You support that? Do you support the pardoning of this gentleman who went on to collect and have information? Or actually not went on. He had this information at the time. He's going to prison now. He should have already been in prison. And even worse is that before he pled guilty in September, Tochi's attorney had argued for the dismissal of the CSAM case because all the evidence stemmed from the pardoned January 6th case. Quote, the case against Mr. Tochi must be dismissed because the entirety of the evidence stems from a warrant that, according to President Trump, should never have been issued. Tochi's attorney wrote in July, quote, President Trump recognized the ongoing nature of the injustice against Mr. Tochi as the investigation took place over the course of 4 years and the instant case is still being prosecuted. Cliff, I'm not saying it has something to do with Jan 6. I am asking if the pardons were a good thing to pardon everybody instead of going case by case. That's what I have an issue with. Instead of having a peer-reviewed or people within the pardon department of the DOJ come through and recommend people in Jan 6 who should be pardoned versus people who should not, per what was going on in the investigation of their cases, is what should have happened and is not what happened. Instead of going case by case, they pardoned everyone. He is not the first. There have been multiple people since then who were either convicted or had cases pending for Jan 6 who were pardoned and then went on to be arrested for either possessing CSAM or physically harming children. They would not have been physically able to harm those children if they were in prison or if they were sitting in jail pending their court case. So my critique is the fact that there were a couple of you. They were not jailed without due process, Cliff. I would love for you to call the number on your screen and we can talk about that. Send me one case where they were jailed without due process. I would love to talk about that with you, Cliff. The problem is that this administration didn't give a fuck. Donald Trump saw a bunch of patriots who were in support of him and pardoned every single one instead of actually looking at who might be dangerous to society and to children, though I'm not shocked this is the Epstein class. And instead of doing that, just pardoned everybody. That I have an issue with. Okay, 43 minutes. Let's see. I can finish this. I'm probably going to do this one. So, they've been talking a lot about Tallarico, and the Christian nationalists don't like Tallarico, which is interesting because he is a Christian. So, we're going to go to this reporting on why the far right hates him and why the Christo-fascists hate a Christian. Guys, while we're sitting here again, I have about 15 minutes left. If we could boost that, the likes on the screen, if we could get my goal down, I would appreciate it.
Why do so many on the Christian right?
Oh, Jay, sweetheart. Jay U-Boat, you fucked up. Jay U-Boat said, at least Trump did it, not an auto pen. You think Donald Trump signed 1,500 pardons individually? You should look up the reporting on how the pardon process went down for the Jan Sixers. He used AutoPen to sign the 1,500. You don't know what AutoPen is. You don't know what it means. But he definitely used AutoPen to sign those 1,500 pardons. Sorry about it.
Why do so many on the Christian right seem obsessed with Tallarico, but also just generally with this project of defining, positioning Jesus, someone who was born to a Jewish family, his family fled persecution, who famously flipped over tables to fight on behalf of marginalized and poor people.
Yeah.
They want to make him into like a Republican operative. What is that about?
Yeah, you know, I think basically Tallarico and the kind of Christianity he's espousing is a threat to kind of the cultural monopoly that the GOP wants to project over Christianity. They want
to weaponize it. The right likes to take religion and weaponize it against people and to fearmonger in order to get votes. James Tallarico actually reads the Bible.
I love the Lord.
to say that they have ownership of Christianity. And for someone like him to stand up and kind of take it back is scary for them. Not only, I think, from like an electoral strategy.
Jay, you have no proof of that. You said, oh, so now you've backtracked from he signed them and not the auto pen, and you said at least authorize the auto pen. Biden didn't know what was going on. Your proof of that is what? Oh, you don't have any. Okay.
Right, like peeling away.
But I feel it.
Christian voters, but also for what his, professed Christianity represents. It's a very, I think we lose track sometimes of how, like you were just describing, how like really radical Christianity is. I grew up Christian, I'm pretty secular, I think agnostic these days, but the Christianity I grew up with, bears no resemblance to what the GOP and MAGA and the, Hegseth are putting forward right now.
They want to monopolize it. They want to weaponize it. And Tallarico is dangerous to them because he tells the truth about it. And because of that, Hegseth's pastors talk about using God to kill Tallarico, which is wild.
Public enemies, these are the orcs at the gate. You are not called to love the barbarian horde that is planning to break into your city and pillage, plunder, rape, and mutilate you and your people.
Yeah, you are, actually. You literally are called by Jesus to love those people. What Bible are they reading? You are absolutely called by Jesus to love the people who wish harm on you. I know Hegseth did pray for violence. I don't have that clip, but I need to find it one of these days. Yes, Biden absolutely knows what day it is. We listened to Trump ramble for 2.5 minutes about a pen. The Old Testament. Oh, so we're cherry picking our words? Is Jesus not also the Lord thy God and the Holy Spirit? Is he not the Holy Trinity? Is he not all of those things? Is Jesus not the Lord? You don't get to just pick which messaging you like and use a vengeful God and ignore the teachings of Jesus.
Right. You don't love that horde. That is your enemy. And you pray. This is where you have imprecatory psalms. This is where you pray strongly. The psalmist is not shy. God, destroy them. Mm-hmm. Make them as dung on the ground. Right? So, but Madison and I were talking about that. And so I say, even in the debate, I think you might have seen it, but that I had on campus the other day, I pray that God kills him. Ultimately, that means killing his heart and raising him up to new life in Christ. That's the first thing.
We want him crucified with Christ.
That's exactly right.
I want him to be, I think, Saul of Tarsus, Tallarico of Tarsus.
Yes,
That's what I want. Who would say, I was holding the garments while they stoned Stephen, and now I'm that's what we want.
Yes, we want.
What?
So is this the violent God that everyone talks about now?
They want Tallarico crucified with Christ.
And you know what? Jesus, while he was crucified, he talked to the man next to him, and he would have said, you know what? You and I will both be in paradise.
These are Hegseth's pastors, by the way.
Death and new life, right? And if it would not be within God's will to do so, stop him by any means necessary, oh God.
That's wild because he's a threat. He is a threat to the fact that the Christo-fascists use this to control you. They use the fear-mongering to control you, and you don't like it. And you don't like that he reads the Bible the way it was meant to be read. Like this, for instance, this one made you guys really, really mad. By the way, happy Transgender Day of Visibility, my friends.
In committee, I listened to 15 hours of testimony on this bill. The worst part for me was the number of Christians who used scripture to justify hurting children. Even on this floor today, a member tried to justify a hateful amendment in the name of God's law. So let's talk about that. The first 2 lines of the Bible, the first 2 lines in Genesis, use 2 different Hebrew words to describe God. One is the masculine Hebrew noun for divinity. The second is the feminine Hebrew noun for spirit. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary. In Genesis 1:26, God speaks of God's self in the plural, saying, let...
Jay, do you want to actually read what that Proverbs 18:13 said, or are you trying to paraphrase the Lord's word? You really trying to paraphrase the words of God?
Us make human beings in our image to be like us. That's the infinite multitude of God. The masculine, the feminine, and everything in between. Trans children are God's children, made in God's own image. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing at all. They are perfect, they are beautiful, and they are sacred. Bullying children is immoral. It's a sin, a special kind of sin.
In the Hebrew, the pronouns used for God are both feminine and masculine. Why? Because God ascends above human ideals of gender. God is above that, is he not? Or you disagree with God? God is above all. God is above gender. Why would I ask my mom about that? But it's okay. Because Charlie Kirk agrees with Tallarico on that in regards to the gender of God, or the lack thereof of gender of God. Oh no, you guys are about to be upset.
Trans women are not women. Okay. All right, Parker, what is a woman?
A woman is an adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. Now, define a man. Define a man.
You're looking at one, XY chromosomes in a
Okay, but does God the Father have XY chromosomes?
Okay,
prior to incarnation?
We literally have a religious
he's
topic
He's a
later.
father and he's he/him, but he's not a man?
We have a religious
Wait, so
later.
a man is someone with XY chromosomes, but he doesn't have XY chromosomes, yet he's still a man and he still uses preferred pronouns?
It's actually very interesting. In the original Hebrew, Adonai, do you know what Adonai is? It's the Hebrew word for God. It's actually genderless, but
Oh! W's, Charlie Kirk. Adonai, the usage of the Hebrew word for God, is genderless. Oh, okay.
in the scriptures, they use he, right? And they use the masculine. Jesus Christ came to earth as a man, not as a...
Which is why Parker specifically asked you the gender of God pre-incarnation. Before God came down in the form of his son, flesh and blood Jesus, what is his gender? Charlie Kirk just conceded it's genderless.
Woman, not as genderqueer. But let's go back to the...
But God the Father's a man, right? Because all fathers are men.
Well, first of all, there's a trinity. So God the Father is neither man nor woman. He is omniscient, omnipotent. He is all...
Oh!
I love the Lord.
God is non-binary, so why are you guys so mad that Tallarico said it? Why are you so mad that Tallarico said it? Because Charlie Kirk said it too, and he's your guy. Uh-oh.
Being on top.
So why do you use he?
Well, I did not. The scriptures do. You could use woman.
Okay.
You could say her. You could use him. But the way that the language is structured, again, it is so. God the Father is so above gender. It is so above any of our understanding.
Then why use
with
him?
Glory and understanding. Again, because you have to make a choice, either he or him or her in the original scriptures. Let's go back to. I'm happy
Some
to get into
fathers
that,
aren't men and boys.
So I'm.
So some fathers are not men and boys, not men or boys.
I'm sorry.
Some fathers are not male.
No, of course they are. I'm not.
Wait, so God the Father's a male?
Hold on, God the Father. So where do we get God the Father from? What Greek word?
From your scripture.
Well, from Abba, right, which is a very close personal term.
You're not answering my
right?
questions, and you're bringing up random language that doesn't matter.
Well, it actually does.
No,
okay?
it doesn't.
But
But
let
did
me
they
get
use
down to the root of
Abba?
it,
Because he's not a man. You know he's not a man under your worldview, yet you
on.
still use his preferred pronouns. You still call him a man.
Christ is a
But
man.
you don't do that with trans people because you're transphobic. That's why.
Okay, got it. But Christ is a man. I'm happy to get into this section.
He wasn't asking about Christ. He was asking about God, which you already conceded twice now, that God is genderless.
Sexuality and
Before
gender.
incarnation, he's
But
not.
y'all
The
can
Trinity,
twist
okay?
yourself in
Before
pretzels
incarnation,
about that.
There's no penis, there's no XY chromosomes, there's no small
hold on a
gametes.
second. Let's think about it. If that's correct, how is it then Jacob saw the face of God?
Okay, so if there's
hold on. If there was not before the incarnation, how did Jacob see the face of God? How did Jacob wrestle with God?
Characters can have faces without biology.
How did Jacob wrestle with God?
So okay, do you think that he has a body?
We don't know what they look like, just as we have heard that angels were supposedly so beautiful you could barely look upon them, or you have the creepy ones that have 1,000 eyeballs. I don't know. What did Jacob look at? Jacob could have just drank a lot that night, too.
Well,
Or was that a figurative notion of wrestle?
That's a mystery of the scriptures. I'm not here. Well, it is. I'm not here to debate theology.
And it's the answer that we always get when we debate the Bible, which is that you will never be able to understand God because he is above your understanding as a human. Sure. But again, he conceded the fact that God is genderless. Twice.
Can we go back to
So,
what we're talking
does he
about
actually have biology? You keep trying to pivot because you know this debunks you.
Well,
what
it doesn't-
what biology
it
does your
doesn't-
God have?
Well, the one of Christ our Lord.
The one
right?
before incarnation.
Well, to be honest, I don't quite know, and I
You
don't
don't
think
know?
the scriptures
So
are.
you don't know what a man is?
Well,
You can't define what a man is?
It's a little opaque. Again, you're looking at a man.
Oh, it's opaque now, so it's not so clear what makes a man and what makes a woman. Charlie Kirk was so woke.
Your video, the largest video on TikTok is, what is a woman, 20 million views, but you don't know what a man is under your own worldview?
I said you're looking at a man, right?
Wait, but
Am I
God
looking
the
at a
Father
man?
doesn't meet that criteria.
Am I looking at a
Yes,
man?
you are.
Okay, good. Just making
A
sure.
man that's beating you in a debate right now.
Trans women.
I've been waiting to get to that one. The shit had me cracked up. I said, oh, because he got big mad that Tallarico interpreted the Hebrew as it is and that God is non-binary. But for some reason, it was okay when Charlie Kirk did it. Whoops.
They don't know what they want. And I mean, again, you can even see just within the tube chat, they lack comprehension skills.
God is not non-binary. He is not a natural man. To say so is preposterous. I never said he was a natural man. I said he was non-binary because he lives.
Natural man.
I don't know, because he lives because God lives above gender. That was the point, right? That would make God non-binary because God is without gender. Okay, good. Glad we covered that.
What is a natural man?
But again, happy Trans Day of Visibility to my trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary siblings. I love you all. I will continue to defend you all. I do not tend to argue the subject because I refuse to argue the existence of my friends and the people that I love and care about. But it is your day to be seen, and we love you. And I will keep fighting for you.
The thing that makes me like, okay, you say that we can't see through a glass darkly. Now we know we can't understand the fullness of God, but yet y'all will sit and scream at the top of your lungs that God is a man.
Well, they'll sit and say that they'll try to interpret the word of God, but also we can't understand because with our human understanding, we can't understand God. But for some reason, they understand God for very specific mistranslations of Hebrew and Greek text to use it as a weapon against the marginalized communities. Interesting.
Well, it's also a book they've never read, so.
Yes, the Bible says he. Why? Because men wrote it, Jimmy. Even Charlie Kirk conceded that. He said it's what the scriptures say. Why? Because they wrote it down that way. But also, if you read the original Hebrew, they use both masculine and feminine to describe God. Cry about it. Read your Bible. I don't know. I have one last little video. This is always my little rage bait / funny because it's like, you know, when MAGA say things, this is going to be Rubio, but when they say things and you're like, say it in a mirror to yourself slowly. Say it again. Slowly.
And at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So
imagine if a country took its billions of dollars and instead of spending it on weapons and a pointless war, actually helped its people. Just imagine.
Calling the kettle black, I see, Rubio.
Wouldn't it be nice? Rubio! If the United States decided not to maybe cut healthcare and actually take care of its people, maybe. That would be nice. It is funny, though, that somebody is still upset. Jimmy's still upset. Our understanding God is male throughout the Bible. The original Hebrew is a dirty language. Then you're not reading the Bible.
Right. Everything is based in Hebrew.
It was written in Hebrew. You don't get to change it. You can translate it, but you need to translate it correctly. You don't get to just decide that I know this book was like written in this language, but like also, no. Like you don't get to do that. That is cope within the Bible I've never seen before. I'm sorry that I shook your faith today in the understanding that in Hebrew God is genderless. I don't apologize for that at all. Work on your deconstruction. You can still love the Lord. I have a deacon who I am very close friends with, and I myself am a spiritual person, and I actually would follow the teachings of Jesus more than you do. But I deconstructed and I work to deconstruct every day. You should try that. Alrighty. On that note, guys, I don't know. I don't want to be a bitch, so I'm just going to shut up. I don't know what that was.
Well, I mean, I will. It's a little disappointing to see the likes where they are, guys.
I don't get
A
it.
little disappointing. We didn't even get halfway through Monty's goal. My goal is still full.
I do want to say, what you had, 38 left? 33 left. So I will say my thank yous to those who did support, though. Thank you, Juicy Juice Godfrey. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Olive. Thank you, Mia. And thank you, Nicholas. Thank you guys for your guys' support today. I appreciate it. I don't know what was going on with the likes either. Like, I don't know. Is it the app not showing me on your For You page? Is it the misogyny? What is going on?
It's even looking on based of other people. Who's live right now? I mean, even some people aren't doing good with their numbers either, so who knows? It could be a multitude of things.
I know, but I've seen like
when you said your thing, you and I have had these conversations off app day in, day out. Because I was like, maybe I'll go live for a little bit. Once I get my goal knocked down, we'll start working on yours. Or what I'll do, if you guys want, instead of debates, I could do like another music live, like I did that one Friday. But the thing is you have to make sure you guys complete goals.
Like, it's bullshit, though, because Santana has 1,000 people in his live. Johnny has 1,000 people in his live. I'm not saying I need 1,000 people, but for the ones who show up, I need you to do the thing.
I agree. So you guys get to pick. Am I debating again, or are we going to listen to music?
Also, big W's to Peter I guess my bullying worked. That was not my goal. I was really just frustrated. But W's to Peter. I want to see W's in that chat. W Peter for the 15 for I do what I can. You absolutely do, Peter. And whether you do it monetarily, I see you completing gift goals all the time. I see you sending bigger gifts to me and my panelists all the time. So I want you to know that I recognize you, Peter. I recognize your support in here every single day for me and Olive, and I do appreciate you. It's just frustrating that other people, whether not the monetary aspect, but even just the likes, even just tapping, that we can't get that. I know times are tough. People are not going to be able to afford tipping their content creators right now. I totally understand that. But I don't know with the likes what was going on. See, I can do math. I can't.
Okay, good luck.
I love the number
I
we're
was thinking
ending
it
on.
was-
Peter, I do love the number we're ending on. Thank you for that.
I just did it on purpose.
Hey!
Insight.
But no.
That erection.
No, I mean, so again, guys, you guys get to pick. Are we debating again, or are we going to sit and listen to music?
Yeah, so what do you guys want to do with Olive? We can.
What are we gonna do?
She can attempt to debate again, or you guys can do the, what is it, like the $2 song requests?
Give or take, yeah, $2 song request. We just sit and listen to music.
Which ones you want?
Or you know, I could just go shower and take a nap.
For that. And also, thank you again to Phantom over there on Twitch for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Thank you for the bits that you cheered as well. You said, make sure you differentiate Law and Order and the TV show and actual Law and Order. That's fair. Dun, 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 dun.
I'll go live for a little bit, but I'm not going to stay up the whole time. Because again, they're not coming up.
Yeah, and Rob Zilla said we need more callers. Listen, I'm trying. The call line was open the entire time. We got one call hang up, and we got an Australian who can come get him anytime he wants to. But other than that,
we're also Lynette, it's like the when we're talking about this specifically, it's not just monetary.
well, it's not the people who are here every day either.
Right.
You know, it's
You
the
show up every single day. You clock in with the rest of us. We all clock in at the same time. Like there are people who show up.
And Lynetta, you support in other ways. We talk. You know, it's not. We're in group chats together. We're in Discord spaces together. But yeah, it's just been frustrating. I know Ari had frustration over it the other night. I totally get it. I feel it too. It's exhausting. The water is making the frogs gay. Oh yeah, that's true. And Kayla, yeah, all of my friends I know are here in support. It's been rough.
So I'll do for maybe the first hour and a half. We'll see what happens with number.
Yeah.
If that doesn't go well, I might do music. If not, I might end and
go do life.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We're gonna go raid Olive. Let's go support her. She has 33. Bye, babe. 33 left on her goal. $33. I know that we can all go in there and get that shit accomplished. I know that we can. So let's go and do that and support Olive over here on TikTok. I'm not sure if she'll multi-stream. Maybe. If so, make sure you find her there. No, Fenor, I am no longer on food stamps. I did not qualify. So that's fun paying out of pocket for food when we barely make it. So thanks for that. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. I have some more that I didn't get to in my outline. And then, of course, there's always more because Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, and Flood the Zone. So it never ends. We will keep critiquing Donald Trump even if they can't. One of my favorite activities is to show how dumb he is, therefore how dumb he thinks you are, and you keep supporting him. So there's that. So guys, come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Take care of yourself. Spend time with friends and family. Do something good for you. Get out there and unplug every so often when you need to. And yeah, we're going to go raid Olive over here on TikTok. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.